And we're live. Welcome, guys. It's Tuesday. We all know Tuesdays because we get to spend it with the family, with the team, FitLatinas and Hope Nation. We're here. We're excited for this meeting. The new format is signed by Steph. All right, guys, I'm excited for this. My name is Alex. I want to mention that again. All right, guys, we're going to get started. I'm not sure who's next, but you guys can take it.
All right, so now, so thank you for that, Alex. So we'll move on to our announcements, and Ms. Yvette is going to take care of that.
All right, and the announcements are coming from me. Our April promotions. For this month, we have our Challenge Pack promotions, which are Master's Hammer and Chisel. There are two different styles, either Master Hammer and Chisel with Shakeology or Master Hammer and Chisel with Beachbody Performance. We also have our club BOD. BOD stands for Beachbody On Demand. Beachbody On Demand, there are also three formats, Shakeology, Kickstart with Shakeology, and Beachbody Performance. And lastly, we have the Ultimate Reset. People want to get right back into action for the summer, and the Ultimate Reset is a pretty good one to get all the toxins out and start fresh. Now, what do you earn if you get Success Club 5 or 10? You would earn a really cool apron for the cook in the house. It is a Shakeology apron. You will earn that if you hit Success Club 5 and 10. And one of the biggies is if you get to be one of the 1,000 top April Success Club earners, you get a nice fancy key that'll get you into the core at Summit this year. What does that fancy key get you? It gets you to the first access to Beachbody apparel, accessories, and workouts. Now, when we went to Coach Summit this past year, Anita and I spent like 3 days just going to the summit. One day it was like, let's go. And we stood in line and we waited, and we had a few of our coach friends skip us, but we were nice and polite and didn't tell them to go to the end. But you get first access to all the goodies, like all the cool clothes, you get them first. They have even like a little sales rack where, us Latinas, we go hit the sales rack. Yes, we got that too. So let's see, again, you would get a coach key to the core, and you actually do get a souvenir key that you get to keep and a wristband that you get to go use and to go inside. So again, Coach Summit is in July 28th to 31st. And let's see what else can I have to say. 1 second. The Beachbody contest for these few months is it's called Summer Strong Contest, and it will be 5 men and 5 women that get chosen to earn prizes up to $5,000. That is just by doing a Beachbody program and sending in your before pictures and your after pictures, and you will get one of those top prizes. Along with that, 1,000 randomly chosen coaches will get a Beachbody Performance sampler pack. Let's see, one more additional thing. Try out the Beachbody app that is out and new. It had been in tryouts with all the more elite coaches, and now it is for you available to use. So sign up and get to it. You get to run challenge groups from that Beachbody app, I believe. Yes? Okay. Two more things. Beachbody Recovery will be re-released in May of 2016 in a new flavor. I think it is citrus. And also, please mark it on your calendars for all our coaches that are coming to Summit this year, 2016. General track registration opens for Summit on Monday, April 18th. Okay, that is all for me. Next.
You are perfect at this, Yvette. Thank you for sharing all those promos. And so Monday, coaches, we get to enroll for our Summit track. And also, if you are a new coach or just anybody, remember to stand guard for Summit, which is happening in July, where they're going to launch the tickets. It's going to go on sale, so we can start saving or really, use your Beachbody earnings to buy your ticket for Summit next year. The tickets sold out in a matter of hours in this past summer. So make sure that you stand guard and start saving up your pennies for your ticket for next year. Now, we do have a portion for the National Wake Up Call. We still have that spot open. Is there somebody on the call that tuned into the National Wake Up Call and would like to give some pointers, some takeaways? Maybe spend 2 to 3 minutes just to share what their takeaway was. If you did, you can raise your hand or unmute your call and say presente. You can share your personal take for the National Wake Up Call. Any takers? Anybody? Okay, so we can just go ahead and dive in. And if you're on the call, that's a position that we'd like to get filled. This National Wake Up Call is always filled with powerful takeaways. We have they get the best, the leading coaches in the business, the ones that are really helping people change their lives and really helping them build their business. And they get them on the Wake Up Call on Monday, and they share their biggest tips to us, right? There's everything. One of the great things about Beachbody and our coaching opportunity is the fact that they really help. We don't keep anything back. It's not like, oh, I'm going to keep all the golden nuggets to myself so that I can make it to the top. This is really a team building effort, whether we are in the same team or not. We really help each other out. So if you are yet to tune into one of the wake up calls, I highly, highly recommend it. There's always some valuable takeaways and golden nuggets to help you build your business and really start making an impact and helping other people change their lives. So with that, we'll go ahead and dive into our training. I am excited to hear from our coach, Sarah. Sarah has been rocking the business. She has been continuously putting herself out there, and she has endured many of the growth pains that come with coaching. We all have our goals with this business. We all have our whys. We all have our driving power, that really gets us going with our business. And for her, she has set big goals for herself. And to really make those big goals happen, she understands that it was going to take some growth pains that she was willing to go through in order to be able to reach that level that has been stirring in her heart and her purpose with this opportunity. So with that, Ms. Sarah, welcome to your training. That's the thing. So I'll hand the mic over to you, ma'am.
All right, well, thank you, Steph. So today's topic is Eyes Above the Water, 5 tips on embracing the truth about coaching. So basically what we're going to be talking about is staying grounded on truth and making sure that our thinking is clear and accurate, because especially I feel in your first year as a coach, you will be hit with every emotion possible in epic proportions, and it pushes you beyond anything you could possibly expect. And I really feel like it's kind of like parenting. Unless you try to build a business yourself and run a business yourself, you have absolutely no clue. I mean, and it hits you hard, and it's tough. It's tough stuff. So we're going to talk about just basically 5 tips on how to keep ourselves grounded and level-headed and focused, and not spazzing out. So some of these things are, rather than tips, they're things to consider. So this is a call. I would really encourage you, if you don't have paper and a pen, I would encourage you to get paper and a pen and take some notes. And one more thing, I really enjoy on calls. I like to hear what you're thinking. So if you want to use that chat button and pop up your thoughts throughout the call, that's not going to distract me. I won't promise you. I mean, we won't necessarily digress and talk about it, but if you want to, share your thoughts with everyone, that's totally cool. So the first question So some of these are going to be things I would talk to. I know many of you on the call, you're quite experienced at this, but some of these are things I'm on this call. I'm also talking to people who are viewing this in the future, brand new coaches in their first year. So these are some of these things I'm going to talk to you about are questions I would ask you to consider. So the first question I think you should ask yourself is this what you want to do? Is this something that you would like? I will say this. I think being a discount or a hobby coach could benefit 100% of the world. I stand by that. Our products are awesome. Who doesn't like saving money? And who couldn't benefit from being a discount coach, right? And being a hobby coach makes perfect sense. Why wouldn't you help some people? It just makes sense. That's no problem. But really, when you divide, there's really not much difference between a hobby coach and a business coach, except that if you really want to build a business, it does take discipline and intentionality and structure and effort if you really want to build this to be a consistent income, right? So, but the fact is, there are many things you can do to earn an income. You could get a job, or there's a million other things you could do to build a business for yourself. So that's where you look at, does this fit your talents and your gifts and your passions, what you love to do? So think about what coaches do all the time. And is that something that excites you? Is that like, ooh, that sounds like fun? For me, it really is fun. And that's a good thing because, it does take sweat. But basically, you can break what coaches do into 3 categories, right? One is really something everyone should do, and that is you're constantly reaching out to people, connecting with people, and making new friends. Always making new friends and developing your relationships with people and genuinely loving them with no strings attached, just loving people. You're always doing that. And really everyone who is a good person should be doing that, right? Like just not thinking about yourself all the time, looking into other people. And then the other part of that is opening yourself up and being honest and vulnerable and sharing what you're up to. If you're working out every day, you don't hide that from the world. You talk about it. You share maybe your meal plans and your recipes and what you're up to. And then obviously as a business coach, you occasionally share the fact that you have you run challenge groups, right? You share about that. You share that you're a coach. You don't hide that from people. You say, yeah, I'm a coach. And that's as casual as it is, just like you would if you ran a restaurant or anything else. You share about that. So that's one thing we do. The other thing we do is we run challenge groups. We run them every month. And every month we help new people learn how to start this lifestyle for themselves. We motivate them, we encourage them, and we help them get through that and get through it so that they can be successful with it long term. And then 3, if they want this to be a business for themselves, we teach them what we know and we help them build this as a business for themselves. So that's what we do. So if you love encouraging, teaching, supporting, inspiring, serving, this fits with your talents, your gifts. This is a pretty good fit for you. So that's what this is. So ask yourself, does that sound like a good fit for you? Because for pretty much everyone on this call, and really everyone we would invite to this is a good fit for them, right? So then, and I'm sharing this with you because these are things that I would say are really good to think about when you're in those moments when you're doubting yourself. These are things we look at just as staples of truth, right? Like when you're doubting yourself, like, oh, can I do this? Can you make new friends? Can you encourage people? Can you help people? I mean, that's what this is. That's what you're doing. So can you do this? Yeah, you can do this. Everyone on this call is a nice person, and yeah, you can help people. That's what you're doing. So that's my first question. Okay, so second question. This is a big one. Consider why you might be passionate about this. because I know for some people, they're kind of like, well, I'm not really obsessed with doing push-ups. Like, so is this a good fit for me? Like, I don't necessarily want to do Shanti's insanity. You know, it scares me. And I understand that. So here are some things I would say, some reasons why I would say you could be inspired by this. Number one, our culture is going through a huge health crisis. Like, our country is going through a huge health crisis. People are suffering. They are going through, they're going through a lot. Our kids are projected to die younger than we do. That's unacceptable. And so when people's health, I mean, I can't tell you how many amazing people I know who are in horrible health. And the thing is, like, when our health is suffering, we're holistic beings. It's not just our health suffers, it's our mind, it's our emotions, it's our spirituality. We're holistic beings. So we're literally limiting ourselves. Instead of operating at 10, we're operating at 7. And maybe you are giving everything you have to everyone, but you're not operating at your best. So we have a whole culture of people not operating at their best, right? So this is a really cool way you can serve people. You know, people who maybe this isn't their calling, but you can serve those people. You can serve those teachers, those doctors, everyone else. You can serve them by helping them operate at their very best. And then another thought, the church is actually less healthy than the general population, significantly less healthy. So instead of being a part of the solution and using this as an opportunity to help our culture and to make an impact and to serve people, we're part of the problem. The church is part of the problem. And if you think about that, how much time and energy and money are going into health issues like heart attacks and so forth, things that are preventable through lifestyle change. What could that be used for if we were in great health, right? So that's another huge thing to think about. There's also just the fact, for Christians, there's also the fact that throughout Scripture, we're commanded to take care of our bodies. It's not like an optional, this isn't a superficial thing. This is a serious thing. Like, if you don't take care of your body, there's all this poison in the media that kind of makes it out like taking care of your health is some superficial thing. That it's superficial to do that. You just want to do that because you want to look cute. Or because you want to live longer and be here for people, and you don't want to go through life in zombie mode, and you actually want to be, awake and have some energy and, vibrancy to give to your life, right? So there's many reasons why this is super important. And then on another note, most people in our country are very much struggling, very, 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 very much struggling with their finances, with their work-life balance, and with their purpose, and with their self-esteem. I honestly can't. There are so few people who do not struggle with one of those things. So I don't know about you, but every single one of those topics fires me up. It makes me mad, and it breaks my heart at the same time. So those are some reasons why you might be passionate about this. So, because I know for many people, like, they don't really want to do something that's, that doesn't make them excited. And honestly, I wouldn't recommend opening a business about something that doesn't make you very excited. It's just too much work. I just don't know how you could get through all the stuff you're going to go through, So those are a few reasons why you might be passionate about it. It could be something different for you, but those are just some ideas. And I actually think this is going to be the most important question I ask you, especially if you are a new coach. This is probably the number one thing we will talk about tonight. But I think it is worth considering your relationship and your perspective about money and success, and making sure it's based on truth. This is something that many people struggle with. What is your perspective? What are your belief systems regarding money, success, and business? So a few questions. I'll recommend a few books for further reflection on this topic. But one question is, do you feel good about working for yourself versus working for someone else? And let me dive a little deeper into that. When you work for someone else, their profit, you don't have to worry about that. You show up, you do what they tell you to do, and they give you a paycheck, right? You run a business, it's your responsibility to make a profit. But ultimately, it comes down to how the world works is we provide goods and services to each other in exchange for money. That's just how it works, right? So ultimately, it kind of comes down to, this also connects with how you feel about the sales process, what you feel like that should look like. If in your mind sales is coercing people to do something against their will so that you can get money from them, that is wrong, immoral, and completely unprofessional and unacceptable behavior, right? But I hope at some point in your life you've had experience with a good salesperson who their intention was to serve you and to help connect you with something that you genuinely needed and were looking for. And so really in this business, what you are trying to do, the fact is, like, there are some businesses where there's not much helping people decide what they need, but then there are some where you're a little bit more involved in the process. So our role, we are a little bit more involved in the process. As we talk to people, we help connect them to what they're looking for. Are they a professional athlete? Would they like insanity, the asylum? Or can they barely work out and they would probably prefer something like Tai Chi? Or maybe they just want Shakeology. Like, that's our role. We're just helping them learn, just helping connect with them and hooking them up with what's going to serve them. So that's a big thing. Like, just asking yourself, do you feel good about succeeding? Do you feel like there's a limited amount of success in the world? Like, if you do well, that means someone else isn't going to do well. Or do you really think that it's possible for us all to do well? It's possible for us all to benefit from things. And do you feel good about money? Do you view it positively? Do you feel like it's okay for you to make it? Like, what's your relationship there? So a few books I will recommend about this, on this topic. There's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That's a very good one. Total Money Makeover. Revolution in World Missions. And that's really more about how, that one is excellent. It's about how by living financially responsibly and disciplined, we can give more to help others. I love that book. And I'll post these in the comments in case you don't have something to write these down, but a few others. And so you might want to look at what the topics of these books are when you look them up, just to see which one fits your situation. But there's Thou Shalt Prosper. That one's more about how God asks us to live our lives with excellence. He wants us to do well. And it's not necessarily like if something horrible happens in your life that you could not have ever prepared for, it's your fault. It's not like that. It's more just that God wants us to be wise stewards and to live our lives in excellence. There's You Are Badass, which is great. Secrets of Closing the Sale. If you're really stressed about the sales process, I would recommend Zig Ziglar. He's really great. And then there's The Greatest Salesman in the World. And that's more about just how sales needs to be about connecting with people. Thinking about it as this is how you're helping someone. And this is something you'll hear a lot, but really the only time you would ever need to feel bad about selling something to someone is if you're planning on intentionally ripping the person off, like you are not planning on helping them or following through with them or really delivering great service to them. So that is something I would really say as a new coach, that's really worth thinking about, because that's really what separates a hobby coach from a business coach. If you want to do this to provide for your family, then you are going to have to put some time into this. So it comes down to, do you believe that your time and your effort and your work are worth money? And if you don't believe that, I think that's worth thinking about. Why don't you think that? Why do you think that everyone else in the world, why do you think that teachers and policemen and firemen and everybody else who works is worth money, but your work isn't? Why do you think that? Because everything I've seen out there, personal trainers, everything else, it all costs money. So, and from what I've seen, we give people the best deals, hands down. So that is definitely a big thing I think would be good to reflect on and to think on very seriously if that is a source of stress for you in your heart. So number 4, let me see how we're doing on time. Number 4 is to build the proper mindset. And the book I've read that is best on this is Flip the Switch. So Switch, SWITCH. And this is a great book because it's really, most books, they don't go deeper than have a positive mindset. Don't think negative. They don't really talk to you about how to create and structure a positive mindset. It's really just have a good one. So this one really dives into how to create that for yourself. So I'm going to go pretty quickly through these. S is see. See clearly what you want. And the best tip for that is to think in every way of life. What do you want your work-life balance to look like? What do you want your relationships to look like? How much money do you want to make? But look at all the aspects of your life, because if you only look at one, you will probably end up throwing the rest of them down the toilet, and that is not good. It's not good. You want to make sure you know exactly where you want to hit on everything. And then W is why. Why do you care about that? Why do you want to have money to save for your kids' college? Why do you want to be saving for retirement? Why do you care about having money for a down payment or taking your family on a nice vacation? Why do you care about any of that? And that why needs to be important, because you're going to be hit with some trials. The rain is coming. So again, all of this is about keeping ourselves founded in the truth, because we're going to be hit with all these emotions. So if we can't connect to why this matters to us, we're just not going to make it. Now, these last 4 letters are actually the ones that hit home with me the hardest. I is immunity. And by immunity, that means forgiving yourself and everyone else for things that happened in the past. Letting it go. Letting it go. You've made mistakes, let it go. You got to be immune to that, or it will hinder you and cripple you as you move forward. And giving yourself grace as you move forward. You have to be brave enough and strong enough and immune to your future failures so that you have the courage to keep going, so you're not frozen in fear. T is trust. And by trust, that means believing that you can get to where you want to go. Now, instead of psyching yourself up and just repeating to yourself, I'm going to get there, I'm going to get there. Instead, because you're just lying to yourself. You don't believe it. You don't even see it. It's too far away, right? Well, break it down. Say 50 pounds. You're like, I can't lose 50 pounds. Break it down until you believe it. Can you lose 5 pounds? Maybe you believe you can lose 5 pounds. Okay. Focus on that. and start moving. So, you know, say your ultimate goal is to make $1,000 a month. Okay, maybe you don't believe you can do that now. Break it down. How much do you think you can make a month? 50, 100? Okay, that's your goal. Reach it, then push it forward. Reach it, push it forward. Reach it, push it forward. Right? So, so that's how we stay focused. And then C is conquer, and that means freaking take some action. Start to move. Do something. There are two types of actions. There are inner actions and there are outer actions. Both are good. Planning, thinking, this is good. You know, using your brain is fine. However, you have to do something. You have to move forward, right? And here's a great tip. I thought this was one of the best things the book talked about. It said, when talking to successful people, he never heard that people became successful by talking to their friends. And here's what he took from that. He was like, sometimes when we talk about all the things we're going to do, we get all excited. Here's the problem with that. That feeds our brain the same excitement, that same rush we get as we actually did something. But as we're talking, we didn't do anything. We didn't do anything. So if you're like, man, I'm so jazzed, why am I not doing anything? Well, did you send any invites today? How many invites did you send today? You know, like, you got to do something. You got to move forward. So he says, if you're like, hey, what's happening? He's like, honestly, less talking, more doing, less talking, you know, get to work. And then H, this is awesome. This is awesome. H is honor. Be grateful for where you are right now. Right now. What are you grateful for? What do you see in your life that's totally awesome? Be grateful for it and honor it and respect it and notice it. Honor where you are right now. And then look up at your vision. And what's really cool is what you love and what you're grateful for right now. When you look up at your vision, you'll see all those same things, but they're even better, right? Like, say what you're grateful for right now is your family. You're so grateful for your family. You love your family to pieces. You look up, what's in your vision? You get even more time with your family. You can take even better care of your family, right? So it's giving you warm, fuzzy feelings as you look at that vision instead of feelings of dejection or discouragement. So a great thing he said was, all of these other things, a great vision and forgiveness and belief and action, all of that is like the car. It's a nice car, but gratitude is the fuel. If you're not grateful, you're not going anywhere. You got to be grateful for where you are to move forward and to get where you need to go. So Flip the Switch. It's an excellent book. Totally awesome. And number 5, my last tip. Listen to the right people. Who do you want to mentor you in this business? Who are you going to ask for advice? Who are you going to listen to? Anytime you seek out a mentor or someone for advice and encouragement, I believe strongly that the wisest thing you can do is ask someone who's successful with it. You want relationship advice? Go to someone who's been happily married and who's madly in love, and they've been married for like 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. That's who you ask for advice, right? You want money advice? Go to the person who's killing it, who's wise, and they're successful. So in this business, who do you want to mentor you? Well, I think Ray and Steph are pretty good mentors. They have done this full time for years. So if they look you in the, and they have good character, you know them well enough to know that. If they look you in the eye and they tell you, you can do this, I believe in you, they're not lying to you. They have a say in that. And if you're actively involved in Beachbody locally, you'll meet other full-time coaches who have been doing this for a while. So like I've met several locally. And when they look you in the eye and they say, you have what it takes to be a great coach, don't give up, keep doing what you're doing, they're not lying to you. So who do you not want to, like, because everyone wants to give you their opinion. Everyone wants to give you their advice, right? So you got to ask yourself, who has a clue what they're talking about? Who knows what they're doing? Well, I mean, I think it's safe to say that if I'm going to listen to advice about my Beachbody business, I'm going to ask coaches who are doing well, you know? Would I ask someone who's never done it, doesn't know anything about it, and really doesn't believe in me? Is that really the person I want to ask for advice? I don't think so. So as a recap, my top tips for keeping yourself grounded in the truth when you're hit by every wave of emotion is really think about what we do as coaches, meeting people, helping them change their lifestyle, helping them establish a business. Is that something you would enjoy doing? Basically, all your time will be spent loving people and encouraging them, basically, and helping them in any way you can, hooking them up with the right tools, helping, encouraging, loving, serving. That's what we do. Does that sound fun to you? Does that match your gifts? Why might you be passionate about this? There could be a variety of reasons, but is this something you're passionate about? Because if it is, that's pretty cool. 3, dive in, dig deep. This is going to take some growth, but dig deep. What's going on inside? What do you think about money and success and business? Do you have really negative stuff that might need to be, do you need to look in God's word to see what he says? Do you need to look for wise mentors to help you process that? Because there might be some gunk going on inside. You might have some stuff you need to process there. Build the proper mindset, SWITCH. CY, immunity, trust, conquer, honor. And 5, listen to the right people. Be intentional about who you are letting influence you and your thoughts. So that is what I have for today. I will hand it over to Steph now.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I think we need a minute to just process this. It's just powerful, powerful stuff. Can I get an amen, y'all? No, thank you so much. I really love your takeaways. And as I was listening in, I mean, you know, whether you're a brand new coach, a seasoned coach, or, you know, whatever, like this flip the switch, that acronym is just so applicable in any time in your business. And that is something that I encourage you, if you didn't write it down, catch the recording, write it down. It's something that you can hold close to you as you embark, because regardless of what level you are, you know, keeping a clear perspective as to, you know, what coaching is and how it's going to play out in your life. And we go through different chapters in life, different chapters, you know, and so that's something, flip the switch, that acronym, that's powerful. And I mean, I don't feel like I need to speak more, because your training was a great takeaway. So I encourage everyone to take it to the heart. Sarah knows what she's talking about, that last point, you know, make sure that you are listening to the right people. She is definitely a coach that has put in the legwork, and is doing incredible things with her business. And not only that, but she is really investing in the people that she's growing the business with. And it's a powerful and beautiful thing too. So thank you so much for that, Sarah. And we'll go ahead and close out the call with a, I think we call it a positive quote. And that's going to be shared to us by Miss Elvia, and she is tuning in. Elvia, go ahead. Your line is unmuted.
Okay, thank you. Happy Tuesday, team. Thank you, Sarah. Basically, there's a lot of motivational quotes, but the one that my spirit led me to share with the team is one by Francis of Assisi, and I'll post a picture on the team page as well. So it goes as follows: Start by doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible. And that's my inspirational quote to the team, as well as myself.
Thank you so much, Elvia, and thank you, everyone. Props to you for joining in and for tonight's call. We hope that everyone has a great rest of your evening, and catch you on Facebook and on the next team call on Tuesday evening. See you later. Wait. I'm going to take a screenshot. Say cheese. 1, 2, 3, cheese. All right, guys. Have a good night.
Go Bulls. Go Bulls. Hey! Good job, son.
Hey, great show up today.
I don't want to leave.
Bye, guys.